Good morning and welcome. I'm so glad you can join me. My name is Sue Kemnitz. I'm an artist, I'm an art and Bible journaler, and I share a blog each week, Inspiration to Implementation. You can find me at my blog at suekemnitz.com. Let's get started. Today we are going to be doing some Christmas tags that look something similar to this. This is a journal piece that I did in my Bible. It's His steadfast love endures forever, Psalm 118, and my little writing that I put down here is His love is forever. So we're going to make something similar to this, only we're going to do it on these kraft tags. So the first thing I'm going to do is move this out of the way. Put that right up there so that it can inspire me while we're working here. And these are actually from a grocery bag, just a Target bag, and I cut them up. They're probably a little thinner than I would like, but I don't have any actual kraft tags. Last week we did some tags on these, and these are super cute, I think. And what I actually did was I took one of my Amazon boxes and I cut it up and made tags on there. So that was pretty fun. That's last week. You can find that on YouTube if you go to my channel. My channel is Sue Kemnitz. But here I am. These are the tags that I'm going to do. And to do what we're going to do, the supplies that I'm going to use, I already put some clear gesso on my tags, and I did that just simply with a knife because that's super easy to wipe off afterwards. White would actually be fine on here too. Just know that white dries white and the clear dries clear. I know that seems obvious, but sometimes it's not. And then I have a series of blues that I've gathered, blue and some white, sorry, that's not blue, darker blue, and then I may throw just a little bit of violet in it. We'll see how that goes. This is actually a light blue violet, which is one of my favorite colors. So we'll do that. And as I said, the first thing that I did was I actually gessoed a little bit on here, so that'll help the paint to pop on here. It won't just soak into it. And the first thing I'm going to do is just glue some background pieces on. So what I'm doing is I am just ripping up some sheet music, and I'm just going to glue those kind of arbitrarily across the background. I also have, and I don't have it here on my table, I also have some washi tape for you people that love washi tape that actually has music on, and that's what I used in my Bible. But this morning I'm using these, and I don't necessarily want all of that up there. So we will rip that off. You can rip it into smaller pieces if you want. You know, it's up to your little heart's desire. All right, so I'm going to take some glue, and wherever it is, and the little mess here on my table. And I like using this Uhu glue. I'm almost out, so hopefully I'll have enough for this. That's on my list today to pick up. And the great thing about Uhu glue is you can kind of see where it is because it's blue, and then it dries clear. So there's background number one. Just a warning, I usually end up getting glue all over everything, and everything sticks to my fingers forever afterwards, but that's okay. All right, so I don't want all of that quite up there either, so I'm just going to rip some of that off. Last week I did use my little reindeer were from Deb, and who I just welcomed a little bit ago, and I just think they are so fun. If you go to her website, printlink.com, you can find those little, just a whole series, a whole coffee bar made with those reindeer, and they are just super cute. So there you go. And I swore I wasn't going to do 2 tags at once because it just took a little bit of time last week when I did 4, but here I am doing 2 because I actually cut 2 pieces of my paper, so that's okay. We'll see how that goes. My glue up here where I can find it later, and we'll glue the last one on here. So the next thing I'm going to do, let's make sure those are nice and glued on, also glued onto my paper. And you know, I don't know if I'm going to cut those edges off or not. We'll see. We'll see what happens with those. We'll see if they stick to the tissue paper underneath, and then I have to. I'm going to try and wipe the glue off of my hands here. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is put some blues on the background. So I'm going to mix those right on the tags, and it doesn't take more than just a little bit of paint. This is a Blick brand. Blue Violet is one of my favorite colors. This is golden. This is a little bit darker blue. This is way less expensive than this, but I like, there's just a whole series of things that I like. So, and that's too much on there, so I'll put some of that on the other side too. Because I don't want to, I really like that music there in the background, so I want to keep some of that showing through. And this is called a heavy body. This will be much thicker. This is by Liquitex. Liquitex and Golden both create great paints too, and have a little bit more pigment in them than these fluids. So I think I'm going to just smear it all with my hands. That one's pretty heavy, so lots of blue on there. I don't want quite that much over here. I'm going to wipe some of the blue. But you know what? When I put the heart on this later, that one will probably turn out being prettier than the other one, as a matter of fact. Every now and then I pop up and see if there are any questions that you have. So my camera is above, or my iPhone is above me recording this, so hence the word pop up. All right, I'm going to take a little more of this darker, see if I can get a little bit more of the darker on the edges there. And what I think I'm going to do, this wasn't, I didn't do it on the other one, but I think because I have so much paint on this one, I'm going to try and grab a little stencil here. Stencil a little bit of that out. Now I'm taking a baby wipe, and this is just a series of dots, but the baby wipe will actually lift off some of that paint. And I don't want to press too hard because I don't want to lift up that music underneath, but that will let that music shine through a little bit there. All right, that's kind of pretty, isn't it? I like that. Excellent. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, remember I had that heart on my little sample here that was in my Bible. And so we're going to do that next. And I have yet another piece of the music here, and I'm just going to arbitrarily, I'm going to lift these up because I'm sure they're sticking. All right, there, that's good. And I'm just going to arbitrarily cut just a little heart out of here. Actually, it's a pretty big heart. Sure, I'm getting that skinny enough to fit on there. All right, there we go. That's a pretty nice size, isn't it? You know, it's funny because I did that heart piece in my Bible, and when I looked at some of the things some of the ideas that I had saved from way back when, there was one pretty similar to that right in there, and I certainly didn't try to copy it, but you know, we do get inspiration, and sometimes those things make their way into our art later on, and you know, I think some people don't quite understand how that works, but it's just up there in the atmosphere or filed away in our memory someplace, and we grab it out again and reuse it when the Spirit leads us. So don't be afraid to look at other things that are online and get ideas. And this was actually the part that I had meant, I think, to put on my little card here. So what I'm going to do is get some of, this is called, it's Liquitex, sorry, rip that off, matte gel, and this is also a form of glue, either one. This is even messier than the other one, but it does stick better. Sometimes it sticks a little bit better. I want it to stick to everything. So I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to take my little old Target credit card. That's just a really nice thing to stick it on with. Then where's my other heart? Now my idea was to put some white on the top first, but I think that's okay to glue it on first. Use my same little glue area over here so I don't have glue covering everything. Sometimes you can even get that little knife to pick it up for you. You know, I do think that these little tags would be so much fun to do with your kids or with your grandkids too, so I've tried to keep them super easy so that you can do that. All right, and then I'm going to put some of this white paint on here. Again, I don't necessarily want to cover up all of that beautiful music there. Maybe this tag is for the music lovers in your life, and maybe this tag is for like those quirky guys who love that little quirky reindeer. It's one of the fun things about this. I do intend to do 4 weeks of Christmas tags, so like I said, you can find the first week on YouTube, and this week obviously we'll meander onto YouTube. It's not always a quick process, but all right, so there we go. So now we have our white hearts, and I am liking that. I'm liking my little hearts. I am liking those little tags. I'm washing my hands off. I use this water over here to wash my hands off a lot more than anything else. And you know, baby wipes are great for that too. So I have to say that during at least once during each one of my videos. Thank God for baby wipes. Yay! It's a good thing I was born in this century. All right, so we've got a little bit of that stuff cleaned up. How dry are these? I think they're not as dry as I would like. So the next thing that I am going to do is I'm going to just do some outlining and some scribbles around the edge. And the first thing I'm going to do that with, I have some Inktense pencils here. And the nice thing about these is these are they're colored ink pencils. And if you go on my website under events, there's a supply list. You can see how to order them there. I have a whole set of them, which is buried underneath a whole bunch of stuff here, so I'm not going to show the whole set to you. I pulled out ink black. I think I had meant to get the dark gray I like better, so maybe I will pull them up. Alright, so here's the box. Inktense 24. I sometimes do some stuff on the lid so that sometimes sticks, in case that's what you're hearing there. And I'm going to pull out this charcoal gray because I'm not the huge black person, although I'm trying. It is something actually that I'm working on. Okay, so my dark gray. I'm just going to put some scribbles around the outside. And we're going to see how that works a little bit with it being a little wet. The nice thing about the these Inktense pencils is that once you have wet them, and you see they kind of smear a little bit, which is great. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Once they dry a little bit, they're permanent, so you don't have to worry about them smearing as you're giving your gift to whomever you're giving your gift to. And the next thing I want to do is I love this color. That's the charcoal gray one. I love this color called Deep Indigo, and I love doing a big shadow on one side with that. Here again, it would be probably a little wise to let that dry for a little bit before you do that, but it's just a pretty color. And you know, I love scribbles in my work too. I just think that gives it a certain energy. And if you don't do them, for sure. All right, so, you know what, those are pretty much done. I think I might take a little more white. I'm going to do this with my paintbrush because I want to have a little more control over it. So I'm going to take a little more white and put a little more white just on the edges, just to make it pop from the background a little bit. All right, so a little more down there. Kind of wandered off the side there, but you know, maybe I'll just wipe that off. Don't you love this too? Everybody thinks I'm a gardener too because my nails are always dirty. And more of that. Okay, so that is actually pretty much it. You can, if you would like, you can get some twine. And I saw the twine at the store yesterday, and I did not pick it up, but I'm going to get some later and just finish these off. You can put a piece of twine or some. That's what I did last week. I just put a little piece of twine in it, or this is not twine, this is some kind of yarn or something, but whatever you have on hand actually is what works, and that was part of the idea behind those last week. I don't have them at my fingertips. And the last thing actually that I'm going to do on this is I am going to take this black marker . These are Posca markers. These are my favorite markers for doing on art. They seem a little bit harder to get clogged up, which I have a tendency to do with my microns. And I'm just going to lay in just a few more scribbles with actually black on wet paint, which, yeah, I just think that's energy. And then later on we can write the to after it's all dry. And so after it's all dry, you can use whatever pen you want to write to and whoever your gift is going to. And that's it for those little tags this morning. I think they're kind of pretty. I hope that you like them too. We'll put these all together here. Yay, kind of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave comments below if you enjoyed it. Please share the video when it's up. And don't forget to sign up for my blog at SueKemnitz.com. Hugs, cheers, and many, many blessings on your day and your week. Till next week. Bye. Hi, Sue Kemnitz here. I just wanted to add a postscript to our tags from last week. So I just did a little finishing work on them. You probably remember these from last week. And what I did after they were all dry, if you remember, I was a little frustrated with the wet paint. So after they were dry, I added a little bit more of my Posca markers, some blue and some black. And I love these guys. And the next thing that I did was, after that was dry, I put a little white on the back, and there's a little hidden message here. Look at that. Love always. So there's a little hidden message there that this happened to be on my bag. It's not like I made that. And then finally, I added just this little take. So this is a piece of sari ribbon. You can Google it on Amazon and stuff. I actually got it from Darn Good Yarn, and which does great work out there in the third world countries. These sari ribbons are actually made from old garments, so they're a little bit frayed and rough, and I do absolutely love them. Jessica and I made some bracelets. That's a story for another day. So I'm just adding that on there, and there they are. Now they're done. They're just ready for somebody's package. So God bless all of you. If you didn't